1, then 0 for public comment. Please note, if pressed the second time, you will be removed from the queue.
Great to see the members of the public. I'm happy that we're back here together. It's great to see everyone in attendance in the board hearing room. We welcome you to the regularly scheduled meeting of the LA County Board of Supervisors. And today is Tuesday, November 15th, 2022. We take note that a full complement of the board is present, with Supervisor Kuehl and Solis joining us remotely. And the Chief Executive Officer, Interim County Counsel, Executive Officer, and the Sergeant at Arms are all here to assist. Supervisor Hahn, would you do us the honor by leading us in the pledge? Yes.
Please join me in reciting our pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Executive Officer, will you please call the agenda?
Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the board. Today's agenda will begin on page 2, Set Matter. Set Matter 1 is a report by the Chief Executive Officer and appropriate department heads as necessary on the status of the American Rescue Plan funding and consideration of necessary actions. This item will be held for discussion. On page 3, Public Hearings, items 2 through 7. These items will be held for hearings. On page 8, Consent Calendar, Board of Supervisors, items 8 through 40. On item 9 and 10, Supervisor Hahn requests that these items be held. On item 12, Supervisor Hahn requests that this item be held. On item 15, Supervisor Solis requests that this item be held. This item relates to item 1D. On item 16, Supervisor Solis requests that this item be held. Also, this includes the substitute motion as indicated on the supplemental agenda. On item 17, Supervisor Solis requests that this item be held. On item 19, Supervisor Solis requests that this item be continued to December 6, 2022. On item 20, this includes a revision as indicated on the supplemental agenda. On item 27, Supervisor Barger votes no. On item 29, Supervisor Mitchell requests that this item be continued to December 6, 2022. And on this item, Supervisor Kuehl requests that it be held. On item 35, this includes a revision as indicated on the supplemental agenda. On page 35, Administrative Matters, items 41 through 76. On item 51, the Director of Public Health requests that this item be continued to December 20th, 2022. On item 54, the Director of Regional Planning requests that this item be referred back to her department. On item 59, Supervisor Hahn requests that this item be continued to January 24th, 2023. On item 62, Supervisor Kuehl and Supervisor Solis request that their votes be recorded as no. On item 68, Supervisor Barger requests that her item be recorded as no. On item 69, Supervisor Barger requests that her vote be recorded as no. On page 56, this includes miscellaneous additions to the agenda that were posted more than 72 hours in advance of the meeting, as indicated on the supplemental agenda. On page 57, ordinances for introduction, items 77 and 78. On page 58, special district agenda. This is the agenda for the Los Angeles County Development Authority. On item 1D, Supervisor Solis requests that this item be held. It relates to item 15. On page 62, this is the agenda for the Regional Park and Open Space District. On page 63, notices of closed session. That completes the reading of the agenda, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much. Moved by Supervisor Kuehl, seconded by Supervisor Hahn to approve these items, and such will be the order. Executive Officer, please play the code of conduct.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I please have your attention? The meeting of the Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors is about to commence. A code of conduct will now be read, and we request that you comply with it to ensure the efficient administration of the meeting. Members of the public, it is your right to participate in today's board hearing and the board encourages such participation. However, the right of the public to address the board must be balanced with the need to ensure that public comment does not interfere with the orderly course of the board's business. All are reminded to abide by the following rules. Speakers must cease speaking immediately when their time has ended. Public comment on agenda items must relate to the subject matter of that item. General public comment is limited to subjects within the jurisdiction of the board. Public comment does not include the right to engage in a dialogue with board members or staff. Please remain respectful of the forum and refrain from uttering, writing, or displaying profane, personal, threatening, derogatory, demeaning, or other abusive statements towards the board, any member thereof, staff, or any other person. Members of the audience should be respectful of the views expressed by speakers, staff, and board members, and may not clap, cheer, whistle, or otherwise disrupt the orderly conduct of the meeting. Any person engaging in conduct that disrupts the meeting is subject to being removed from the board meeting. And finally, if you witness conduct or behavior by other members of the public that disrupts your ability to remain engaged or participate in this meeting, please notify the Sergeant at Arms or other county staff. Thank you for your cooperation.
We'll now take public comments for all agenda items, excluding public hearing items 2 through 7. Again, all public comments for the agenda, excluding the public hearing items, which are agenda items 2 through 7. Executive Officer, please read the call-in information that was also provided on the agenda and explain the speaking rules to those members of the public who wish to address the board.
For members of the public joining us remotely, as indicated on the agenda, please call 877-226-8163 and use participant code number 1336503. To repeat, please call 877-226-8163 and use participant code number 1336503. Remember to turn down the volume on your device as soon as the moderator calls on you, or there will be an echo. Do not call the number if you want to listen to the meeting only. To listen only, please call 877-873-8017 and follow the instructions. To all members of the public, when it's your turn to speak, please state your name and which item that you would like to speak on. You have 1 minute to speak on one agenda item or 2 minutes to speak on 2 or more agenda items. In addition, those who would like to address the board with general public comment will be provided 1 additional minute for a maximum total of up to 3 minutes. We will allocate up to 90 minutes for public comment on all of the items, excluding the public hearing items. We will alternate between in-person speakers and telephonic speakers until there are no speakers waiting or until 90 minutes have lapsed. We will continue to accept all written comments that come in during the meeting. When speaking on the regular agenda items, you must be on topic. Our goal is to get through as many speakers as we can. If you're not speaking on topic, or if we cannot tell you that you're speaking on an agenda item, you will get 1 warning from County Council or the Chair. If you do not immediately or clearly get on topic, or if you stray off topic again, you will forfeit the rest of your time, and the Chair will move to the next speaker. Please note that if you're also listening to the board meeting on a computer or speakerphone, you will need to turn down the volume on those devices as soon as the moderator calls your name. If you don't turn down the volume, there will be an echo. Members of the public who are in attendance, when you hear or see your name displayed on the screen, please come down to the front of the boardroom and staff will assist you. Please do not approach the podium until directed to do so. We will begin by calling 10 in-person speakers, and while they are coming forward, we will take telephonic speakers.
Will Audrey Jang, Abraham Rojas, Jennifer Maldonado, Lillian Washington, Jessica Melendez, Ian Jameson, Rosa Quintanilla, Eva Garcia, Jonathan Jaeger, and Cassidy Bennett. Please come forward and staff will assist you. Moderator, we have the first remote speaker, please. Our first participant is Marcy. Please state the regular agenda item you are addressing today and what whether you will address general public comment. You may begin.
Hi, this is on agenda item number 20, the continuation of the Public Health Council. I'm calling on behalf of Antelope Valley Economic Development and Growth Enterprise. We are the Economic Development Corporation for North LA County. As presented, we don't have opposition to this proposal. We just want to express some concerns. We want to make sure or encourage the board not to adopt any mandates related to continuing this program. We support protections for workers and their right to be free from retaliation. As it stands with this being voluntary, we support that. We would just ask that employers should be involved in the process and also not mandated to cover any costs and added fees or staff time away from work. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next speaker, please. Our next participant is Anthony Arians. Please state the regular agenda item you are addressing today and whether you will address general public comment. You may begin.
Hi, my name is Anthony Arians, and I'd like to speak on agenda items 28, 50, and 59. So for agenda item 28, I wanted to speak in favor. The county has to take the following actions to align JCOD implementation with the board's agreed promised Care First mission. So one, the county must create a mission statement for JCOD that includes implementing ATI report recommendations, decarcerating the jails through Care First strategies, and closing Men's Central Jail without a replacement. Second, the county must create a transparent and inclusive process for picking the permanent director of JCOD. This has to include community engagement and a clear set of values and expectations. I firmly believe that the director of JCOD should be an individual with lived experience in the criminal legal system. And third, the county must immediately commit to public collaboration, in part through the creation of a community advisory board and the implementation of ATI recommendations 76, 84, and 86, sustainably funded community engagement work groups, public town halls for community feedback, and frequent and transparent reporting of data. For agenda item 50, I'm also calling in favor. Despite a bloated $4 billion budget, the Sheriff's Department has been totally unable to prevent or respond to harm, even as they claim crime is rising. The Community-Based Crisis Response and Violence Interruption Program is a pilot that will support families and communities' needs through holistic, care-oriented means that center restorative justice and healing. Rather than responding to crisis with state violence and incarceration, the CRVIP will use trauma-informed approaches and provide access to mental health and other healing services, allowing communities to genuinely heal and transform rather than be subject to more of the Sheriff's Department's relentless violence. The holistic, community-based, culturally informed nature...
Your time has expired. Can we have the next speaker, please? Our next participant is Danie Rojas. Please state the regular agenda items you are addressing today and whether you will address general public comment. You may begin.
Good morning. My name is Danie Rojas, calling on behalf of the City of Downey regarding agenda item number 16. We are requesting the board to make amendments to the substitute motion with instruction that any site acquisition for the land bank program is conducted in concurrence with each respective board office. This will ensure an open line of communication with program staff and each supervisor and their communities. Additionally, we are asking for the creation of a working group to study an opt-in approach for those jurisdictions that are interested in participating in the land bank program. We want to emphasize that the city is being included in this discussion with the development of this program. Thank you for your consideration on these requests.
Thank you. May we have the next speaker, please? Our next participant is Humphreys. Please state the regular agenda item you are addressing today and whether you will address general public comment. You may begin.
Okay, some of the items would be 57 and 58 general public comment. And as far as the unserved and underserved victims, that defines Rowland Heights and the services that we've gotten or failed to get from the County Board of Supervisors. And supervisors at least can talk to Ryan Serrano from last night's coordinated council meeting to get much more in depth on that particular situation. 58, human trafficking. This board is a purveyor of human trafficking and sex trafficking with your sanctuary aspect and the failure to deal with the decriminalizing of the sex trade, and therefore participating in these infants being born with syphilis and HIV. And as to the general public comment, Supervisor Solis says continue to fail to deal with the tunnel dwellers, which is the de facto housing for the transients in the community, and at Fullerton, and the Ryan Romo's aspect of the county on the other side, which has just blossomed forth. You can go to my YouTube channel and see the videos on that. And then last night, they touted that they had cleaned up the Desire and Pathfinder.
Your time has expired. Can we have the next speaker, please? Our next participant is Elana Soltsa. Please state the regular agenda item you are addressing today and whether you will address general public comment. You may begin.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes.
Hi, good morning.
Yes, please begin.
My name is Elana Soltsa, and I'm speaking in support of items 15, 16, 27, and general public comment. First, I want to say on behalf of the Southeast Asian Community Alliance and our families in Chinatown, how excited we are that the county is moving forward with launching the Land Bank pilot program. This program will accomplish two things. One, it will make sure that we use this moment of unprecedented challenge caused by the pandemic to put in place a tool that will ensure a just recovery and secure the ability to produce more desperately needed affordable housing in perpetuity. And two, developing the land banking capacity of the county is an invaluable way to make sure that communities at highest risk of displacement due to large infrastructure improvements will be protected. It is the right role for the county to step in and ensure our vulnerable communities can stay in place and benefit from green revitalization and economic development projects. I also want to add our support for expanding the CLT program and strengthening tenant protections. Taken together, all of these measures will ensure, will result in keeping roofs over the heads of our most vulnerable residents, building more affordable housing, and making sure that our communities can thrive in place. Lastly, I just want to thank both Supervisor Chul and Solis for the leadership on these issues. And I urge the board to approve these items. Thank you.
Thank you. Moderator, we will now return to in-person speakers.
Good morning. My name is Audrey, and I'm here to speak in support of items 15, 16, 27, 68, and 69 with the Beverly, Vermont Community Land Trust. I'm a lifelong renter from Koreatown, and I'm a student studying urban planning and law at UCLA. I learned of our apartment in my 25 years living there.
First of this year, showing promising phase 3 results for their RSV vaccine. Additionally, in front of you, there is data published on the FDA's website in July 1st, 2022, showing that all children in all age groups from 6 to 23 months, from 2 to 5 years old, and from 6 to 11 years old, who were administered the Moderna COVID vaccine, came down with higher rates of respiratory syncytial virus. It's almost as if it's related to the alleged uptick we're seeing in pediatric RSV hospitalization rates. So in other words, the vaccines that we were required to take are probably giving kids higher RSV infection rates, which you are claiming is going to necessitate a new state of emergency, which is again going to necessitate new lockdowns, new mandates. It's almost as if you guys have worked out this permanent formula to never ever let us be free again. So here's what we're saying. We're done. We're done with these states of emergency. We're done serving pharma. We're done serving biotech. We're not going to bow to another RSV state of emergency. We're not going to bow to endless COVID and monkeypox SOEs. End the SOEs, and then all of you fascists resign. And again, I just don't know where Han and Barger, you get off demanding that the 200 people that were allowed into this meeting, a tiny fraction of its capacity, wear masks, but you don't. You are fucking fascist hypocrites.
Buenos días, mi nombre es Rosa Quintanilla, residente del Distrito 3 en North Hollywood, inquilino y aprendiz de control comunitario con Beverly Vermont CLT, apoyando la moción 15, 16, 27, 68, 69 y en lucha por el programa de los 14 millones para los fideicomisos.
Good morning. My name is Rosa Quintanilla from El Salvador and resident of District 3 in North Hollywood. I am a resident and I also support the control community with Beverly CLT. I support motion 15, 16, 27, 68, 69 and to fight for the program or the fund for $14 million.
El cual está comprometido a no desalojar a nadie, a luchar para que las viviendas sean asequibles.
The one that is promising to not leave anyone behind and to fight for residency to be accessible.
Puesto que deseamos más protección para los inquilinos.
Which we are requesting more rights and for the residents.
Tengo 6 años de vivir en este país de oportunidades, dando gracias a Dios y a Beverly Vermont CLT por cambiar mi condición de vivienda y unificar mi familia.
I have been living in this state of opportunities for 6 years, thanking God and Beverly CLT for being able to change my living stages and to unify my family.
Ya que antes vivíamos en una cochera convertida 3 personas con pagos elevados y sin empleo a causa de la pandemia.
Given that before we used to live in a garage, which was converted for 3 people, with raised pay and without any employment in the cost of the pandemic.
Circunstancias que me llevaron a retirar el dinero de mi país, el cual había acumulado por años de trabajo.
Circumstances that allowed me to waste the money that I had been able to save that I've worked so hard when I came from my country.
El cual utilicé para renta, comida y otras necesidades, quedándonos al final sin empleo y sin dinero.
The one that I had to use for rent, food, and other necessities, leaving myself without any employment and any money.
Mi pareja vivía en otro lugar rentando una recámara y Beverly Vermont nos ayudó a unir a nuestra familia.
My partner lived in another place renting a 1-bedroom, and Beverly CLT has helped us to be able to unite and be a family.
Dándonos tranquilidad y posibilidad de poder cumplir el sueño de ser dueños del lugar que actualmente rentamos.
Giving the opportunities and to allow us to live the dream and be where we are now renting.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Hola, muy buenos días. Mi nombre es Eva García y vengo de la comunidad de Boyle Heights.